With Amisha. Now, today's topic is not light-hearted, but it is essential, and I'm letting you know in advance. Now, we're talking about ragging, something that has stolen confidence, dreams, and even lives. Too often, it's brushed off as fun or tradition, but let's be clear. Ragging is illegal and is punishable under Indian law. And today, as Amisha, your host, I will take you and walk you through all these laws one by one. Now, this video is not just for victims, it is for students who think ragging makes them powerful, for bystanders who stay silent, and for institutions that sometimes look the other way. By the end of this video, I want every student watching to know ragging is not just wrong, it's a crime, and for victims, you're not alone. You have rights, you have protection, and you have hope. Now, let's start with what ragging really is. Let's start with the basics. Ragging isn't just one thing, it takes many forms. The first is psychological and verbal ragging, forcing humiliating introductions, mocking appearance, caste, religion, or you asking offensive personal questions. Then comes physical ragging, forcing someone to do painful exercises, hitting, confining, and assaulting. Next is ragging, like forcing obscene acts, harassment, or exploitation. Next is cyber ragging, cyberbullying, also in other words, means bullying online through messages, videos, or social media. And lastly, it is financial and academic ragging, in which seniors force juniors to pay the money by gifts or just do the assignments. Now, here's the law. The University Grants Commission (UGC) regulations on curbing of the menace of ragging 2009 makes it mandatory for every college to have an anti-ragging committees or squad. These regulations were made under the efforts of the Supreme Court of India, which has repeatedly said that ragging is a violation of human dignity. So ragging is not just wrong, it is a direct violation of UGC regulations and a punishable offence under multiple Indian laws. As for the legal framework, articles, and IPC sections, let's get specific. Here are the laws that protect students. First is the right of children to free and compulsory education. RTE Act 2009 Section 17 states that it is prohibited for physical punishment or mental harassment in schools. Quote, no child should be subjected to physical punishment or mental harassment. Next is the Indian Penal Code IPC, which I have talked about earlier. This includes Section 323, voluntarily causing hurt, imprisonment up to 1 year, fine, or both. Section 325, voluntarily causing grievous hurt, imprisonment up to 7 years, and fine. Section 352, assault, imprisonment up to 3 months, fine, or both. Section 341 and 342, wrongful dissent or confinement, imprisonment from 1 month to 1 year. Section 506, criminal intimidation, imprisonment or fine. Section 509, word, gesture, or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. Section 306, abatement of suicide, imprisonment up to 10 years and fine. The third is protection of children from sexual offences, POCSO Act 2012. Any harassment, assault, or exploitation during ragging comes under POCSO if the victim is under 18, and it carries much stricter penalties than the IPC. Then the fourth one and the last one is Information Technology Act 2000 in Section 66A and Section 67, publishing obscene or abusive material online, sending threats or humiliating content that applies to cyber ragging. So, I'll let you know that every act of ragging we have discussed earlier in this video, whether it's a so-called joke, a slap, or an online harassment, can be matched with an exact law, and every law comes with real punishments. Now, what institutions must do, what schools and colleges must do, what universities must do, what any educational institution must take, which steps they must take, which initiatives they must take. Now we will discuss them. Now, firstly, they are not innocent bystanders. They have a legal duty under UGC Regulations 2009. Every institution must form an anti-ragging committee and anti-ragging squad. Students and parents must sign the anti-ragging affidavit. If a complaint comes in, the institution must act immediately. The possible punishments include suspension or expulsion from school department, from exams, cancellation of admission, fine up to 1 lakh rupees, even collective punishment if offenders are not identified. And here's the most important part: institutions must file an FIR within 24 hours of receiving a ragging complaint. If they don't, they are themselves violating the law. Lastly, there is a hope for victims. Now, I want to speak directly to students who may be suffering. First, it's not your fault. Second, you are not weak for speaking up. Here are the steps you can take. Report to your school's anti-ragging committee or squad. File a written complaint with dates, times, and evidence. Contact the National Anti-Ragging Helpline at 1800-180-5522. Use the UGC Anti-Ragging portal to submit complaints. If you are under 18 and facing harassment, it falls under POCSO, which schools are legally bound to report. Remember, the law is on your side, and the silence you keep only protects the abuser, not you. You deserve safety, you deserve dignity. Now, I want to close my video with a warning and a hope. Let me close with two messages. To abusers and seniors who think ragging is fun, listen carefully. Every time you force, humiliate, or harass someone, you are committing a crime. You are violating IPC Sections 323, 325, 341, 342, 352, 506, 306, 509, the POCSO Act 2012, the RTE Act, Information Technology Act 2000, and the RTE Act Section 17. You may face prison, you may lose your future, you may ruin your life, all for a few minutes of fake power. Now, for victims and bystanders, hope is real, change is possible, support is available. Speak up, stand together, and remember, ragging is not a culture, not a tradition, not a bonding. This is violence, and the violence that is taking place has no place in educational institutions where you get the right to education. This was Coffee with Amisha. Thank you for joining me. This is Amisha signing off. Let's be the next generation that ends ragging not with silence but with courage. Thank you for watching.